Surprisingly, some of my hobbies can be defined as either having the option of pursuing that hobby or not having a choice at all. Now, the difference between these two things shouldn't alarm you too much. If you're used to this kind of thing, then so albeit, and welcome to the channel. But for this video, I'm going to try to explain a little bit about myself and my personality, if I can, at the best of my ability. And I won't keep you for too long, but I hope you enjoy this video nonetheless. So, this is a content style I'm not used to quite yet, and it's not even considered quality for that matter, but I'm going to go with it anyways. The first thing I did with this video was I actually went with the black and white style because I didn't want to just forego everything else. But what I did was I basically just I had the image files in the front with Eddie and Neza first, and then I did the voiceover. So that's what I did with that. But anyways, for this part of the video, let's see if I can do it the other way around. I'm going to try to explain a little bit about something that I'm going to probably back up with images the way most people seem to be doing it. So, anyways, I think I have a way of doing my hobbies thing where, and one of the controversial ways I do it is that I don't necessarily have entertainment the way most people can see it. I can get to that much later in the video if I can, but I do have a tendency to see my entertainment as being necessary, as in my wants, my needs, and using my wants, etc. I conflate the two a lot. So, and one of the weirdest things I do with it is I gamify my survival. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically it's when you you do the things that you're supposed to do at the very bottom rung of your life to survive. Those are the things I find as being entertainment. And I know that sounds a little corny, if not concerning, but hear me out. It's like, have you ever had a passion for something that you need to live, like gathering food or paying the bills? And I'm not even trying to be exaggerating with that. It's like when you have a passion for things like that, it's really weird. At least for me, it seems weird, as I want to seem like I'm being self-aware with that, but it's also something that I don't have to worry about too much because I know I'm doing it properly for some reason. But yeah, as I look into the webcam for this part of the video, I'm going to try to explain a little bit about what my hobbies really are, and I will get really deep, especially with the main niche, because that's kind of what the whole big thing with not niching down this channel has been like so far. Claymation. So claymation's a hobby of mine, confessingly. I'll try looking at the lens again if I can. But it's just I never practiced with this as often as I made content. Even with the longer videos I made and the older videos I made, they didn't have as much webcam content, or they had more webcam content than the DSLR content. That's why I don't look at the lenses as much, because it's literally looking at the damn blue light and it's annoying. So anyways, I'm not gonna edit that out. That's the whole point of this video. But I think claymation is a hobby, but it's not a passion. It's a talent, but it's not something that I care about. It is something that I enjoy, but it has a big burdening grudge to it. So it's like, yeah, there you go with claymation. Anyways, my other hobbies are things like origami, drawing, cartooning, and even cartooning died as a hobby as often as claymation did, unfortunately. But you know, and that doesn't tell you enough context anyways, or it's too vague for that reason. But I digress. Those are just 3 odd examples for now. I'll go on to the next part of the video. Alright, so you know those games where they, like Jackbox, the party pack for Steam, where you had to talk about that one mode in general, where you had to talk about whatever you see on screen as a form of marketing. Let's just try that real quick right now. So what we got here is one of the 2 Thomas characters from regular show. We got Jeff from Clarence. We got the Dragon Spirit from one of the Light Arrows in Twilight Princess, and then we got a marketing material for the Boxcar Children books. Okay, so there's nothing really relevant between these 4, but just for the record, I have actually one relevant thing is that these are actually pieces of entertainment that I've enjoyed over the years. And another comparison is that they actually happen to all revolve around the artistry end of things, and so in other words, they all contain animations and cartoons in their own light. The contrast would be that they are nothing alike in common sense, I guess you could say. If I just describe that, then fine, but one is a book, one is a show, one's another show that isn't the same show for Cartoon Network, and the other one is a video game. So again, this is just an example of me throwing the images onto the screen without already knowing what they were about. And as you've seen throughout the rest of this video so far, I've already did that back and forth, and without context, the video does have a purpose, but it does have a very dodgy creative style. And I think I'm doing this on purpose because I want to see if I can make this work for myself without putting too much emphasis or seriousness onto the editing. And I think something that I tend to do is I take the editing way too seriously, but it's also with how I take things seriously in my own life story. So there's that going for you. But before this part of the video ends, I do want to say that if you want to check out my claimations over the course I make them, there will be thumbnails representing them without even actual custom thumbnails, FFS. But like there'll be claimations on the channel every once in a while. So that's one of the main niches I've been talking about before in the video. So if you want to check those out, feel free to. Otherwise, I'll move on to the next part of the video. Also, Thomas is best Russian spy. See you guys. Video editor for the same video. Paradox right there. Rule 34. I mean, no, not rule 34. I mean, what's the word for wall 4 or fourth wall? Yeah. We are on the video editor, and this is what I got so far. If you guys are excited for the video, as I just said in the last part of this video, feel free to check out the other content, including the claimations. I haven't niched down quite yet over the years. Technically, I thought I already did, but that's just me saying that because I know that I thought I did, but I just even when I niched down before, people still thought I was making right content, and among other issues like the visuals, like the thumbnail design, of other things. But you know, this is not. If I mess with this video, I'm probably gonna mess with the editing too. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't work like that, but you know, yeah. Coming back into one of the primary themes of this video, which believe me, there is one, the hobbies thing. So I did show an image of Ed from Ed and Eddie and an image of Nezot from the animated Chinese film 2019 one on Netflix now. You can watch either one of those, either show in the movie. Why is that necessary? Whatever. Anyways, and those are like symbolic examples of the difference between, and I did find this for both like philosophy and my hobbies. So like philosophy, charisma. I didn't get to charisma yet, but you know, about the difference between having a choice and not having a choice. And I defined it for hobbies because, believe me, when you're forced to do a hobby, it doesn't feel like one anymore. But that also feels like a vocation at that point. But when you're forced to do a hobby, even if it still counts as a hobby, the thing is that with a contrast output from a hobby that you have a choice to do, or an interest that you have to prove, which there's going to be another video, an interest that you have to prove wouldn't have to be the hobby that you chose to do. What I mean by that is that, I explained that in the same video, whatever. You generally want a hobby to be something that you at least find good for your pastime. And I think even if you have to do that hobby, it's the same thing with like with music and with video games, entertainment we have. I have a very weird, archaic way of seeing entertainment. Like the way I find entertainment, the way I described survival being gamified earlier in the video. I think entertainment was something where I generally didn't know how to find the things I wanted to see. So I often had to make them, like as per the quote, write the book that you want to read. But it's just, and that at least that makes sense in this video. But like, jeez. But you know, I genuinely wanted to see if I would make enough of the things I wanted to see, and then see if other people would make them too. Because if I was the only one doing the whole time, that'd be kind of boring. But you know, and this is part of the video for now. Coming back into one of the primary themes of this video, which believe me, there is one, the hobbies thing. So I did show an image of Ed from Ed and Eddie and an image of Nezot from the animated Chinese film 2019 one on Netflix now. You can watch either one of those, either show in the movie. Why is that necessary? Whatever. Anyways, and those are like symbolic examples of the difference between, and I did find this for both like philosophy and my hobbies. So like philosophy, charisma. I didn't get to charisma yet, but you know, about the difference between having a choice and not having a choice. And I defined it for hobbies because, believe me, when you're forced to do a hobby, it doesn't feel like one anymore. But that also feels like a vocation at that point. But when you're forced to do a hobby, even if it still counts as a hobby, the thing is that with a contrast output from a hobby that you have a choice to do, or an interest that you have to prove, which there's going to be another video, an interest that you have to prove wouldn't have to be the hobby that you chose to do. What I mean by that is that, I explained that in the same video, whatever. You generally want a hobby to be something that you at least find good for your pastime. And I think even if you have to do that hobby, it's the same thing with like with music and with video games, entertainment we have. I have a very weird, archaic way of seeing entertainment. Like the way I find entertainment, the way I described survival being gamified earlier in the video. I think entertainment was something where I generally didn't know how to find the things I wanted to see, so I often had to make them, like as per the quote, write the book that you want to read. But it's just, and that, at least that makes sense in this video. But like, oh jeez, but you know, I genuinely wanted to see if I would make enough of the things I wanted to see, and then see if other people would make them too. Because if I was the only one doing the whole time, that'd be kind of boring. But you know, end this part of the video for now. You enjoying this so far? I sure am. I think it's something. Well, by the way, I have the video lasting until 14 minutes. I could change that, but I don't want to because I want to challenge myself. But the fact that this video already makes me feel like I actually am getting somewhere really positive, even though it's the most scatterbrained thing I've ever made, even compared to the meme posts. But like, it's just, I enjoy doing this. I really enjoy doing this, and I also like the fact that I know what I'm doing with this. It's scary that I know what I'm doing, even though this is really, really bizarre editing and carefree. I usually take myself way too seriously. I don't do stuff like this where I'm like, I'm throwing in ideas and irrelevant factors and just doing whatever on a video and expecting to make my channel grow with it. And it's like, and yes, I know that if this blows up, I know why. I know half the reason why. And I'm being not aware of something like that is scary. It's like knowing that I actually could be on the brink of something brilliant and I already know what I'm doing with it half the time. That's scary. Like, even I know that. It's scary to know that these random videos actually have a lot of meaning to me. At least the one I'm making right now. But like, it just, yeah, until the next part of the video. Maybe it might be the penultimate part of the video. So right here you got a clip of me doing one of the most comedically based things I ever did on the channel. And it's not something that I usually do. Where, I mean, normally with content like this, I would have probably been like, oh, it's trying too hard to be funny. But in this video itself, it's already being so bizarre that, you know, everything's tossed out the window. But that is what creativity really is. You're not seeking perfection, unlike most content creators on YouTube, where we're just using the best tools for no better reason than to just have things work. Which, being that productive and results oriented, is not creativity. I'm not even saying that out of ego or contrariness. I actually mean that. It's just, that's not creativity anymore. This clip right here, this was as dumb as it was. At least I did take it seriously enough to make it work. And even this video being not as serious as that, it's just, that's what creativity is. You're not taking it too seriously, but you can still have some form of balance on it. It just depends on what you do with it. But even then, don't make it something that it doesn't have to be, you know? Okay, I'm not going to edit out that last part, but I kind of regret saying that last bit where I said don't make it something that's not to be. Because one of my biggest, actually contrary to that, is actually one of my biggest goals in life, which is to give everything a chance to exist, so I would be the best example of something that should exist. Out it's like, you know, that was indeed the penultimate part of the video, as we are now on the final part of the video. And I think what I'm going to say here is I'm going to probably try to act out with a few images. Yeah. This is experimental content. I didn't expect to make this video all of a sudden, but it's just, there is a point to it. And the main theme was hobbies, and the rest of it was deeper than that. There are interconnections between other ideas, especially the ones I did that looked like they were random, but they're not actually as random as they look. It's just the way I think sometimes. I just exaggerated some of the details because I wanted to be that creative and freeform, but the main theme was hobbies, and I didn't explain a lot about that in the video already. But maybe in some bits of it you may have gotten a good enough idea. So if you like this video, give it a like. There's not going to be a custom thumbnail for it, but there will be some auto-gen I'll probably like, even if the 3 images are still bullshit. But that's just what most people expect anyways, unfortunately. But, you know, claymations to come. I'll make the rest of the dancing colors of fire stop-motion films later on if I have time. And they're still easy to make. They're probably easier to make than even this video. So that's the funny thing about the talent claymation I have. That isn't a passion, unfortunately. But yeah, see you guys later.